Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. It is now, well, it's around about 3 in the UK, in the so-called UK. And they released the name of the gunman, Ian David Long, who's 28, apparently, and he's white. Now, it's interesting, it's taken quite, how many hours? So I started to see this at 9 in the UK time, and apparently it happened at 11 Pacific time. I think 9 was 1 a.m. Pacific time, so 2 hours before that. It actually happened at 7. I don't know why it took so long for information and things, but sometimes with these events or terrorist events, they can identify the person very, very quickly. Now, obviously, there may be reasons for that. There may be that they have ID on them, possibly, or that they are known in their database, the people they're watching. But this one, it took a long time, even from 9, it's 10, 11, 12, 6 hours. But I think actually from the actual start of the shooting, that's 8 hours. And the shooting, how long did it take? Is it about half an hour? So I'm not sure if that's exactly right. But anyway, that's his name, David Ian Long. And now I saw on BBC News and CNN, they're reporting that he was a veteran of the Marine Corps. So he's a Marine, he's a soldier, and he's believed to have killed himself. Being part of the Marine Corps, that would explain how he had the smoke devices and the laser on the handgun. I know there's going to be people who are going to suggest, because he's a Marine, they're going to start talking about is it Agenda 21? Is that the right agenda? Where they can, well, that was what some people already believed about the JFK assassination. That I can't remember his name now. That he was somehow brainwashed into committing the crime. And I guess through hypnosis, if you think about it, hypnosis can do certain amounts of things. So if you had some real skilled, I don't know, is it possible to get someone to do something? I don't know, maybe it's possible. I mean, I suppose we do in our life get people to kill other people for us. If you think about the Marines, you think about soldiers, they are taught to kill people and they do it readily, and some of them do it too readily, and some of them enjoy it too much, as we saw in the Iraq and Afghanistan war, all those photos. So maybe you can teach people to do things against what most people would consider moral, if you could somehow convince them that what they're doing is for some kind of good. But yes, it's taken a long time to release his identity. I'm surprised he is a Marine Corps. That's unusual. I guess they're going to suggest that it was planned. It's interesting. What's interesting now is how and that's why I did this, because I'm not trying to suggest that this is a false flag or anything like that. It's too early to say that, and it's not for me to say that I'm not there. I'm not able to ascertain any of that information to make that kind of claim. But why I wanted to listen to the news media is to write down all the stuff, and then so I have a record of it, because stories change all the times, and then and that's why I'm waiting for CNN to talk about it now, so that I can hear how they're reporting it now. But the interesting thing is the first person they talked to, the very first person I saw on ABC News, claimed that the man was Middle Eastern and with a beard. I don't know whether this man had a beard or not, but he claimed he was Middle Eastern. And like I said previously on the podcast, there were other people who said he was white. So there's a big difference between Middle Eastern and white, isn't it? Of course, Middle Eastern would make you think terrorist. Beard make you think Muslim terrorist. So there may have been a reason for that, I don't know. But I can't actually, unfortunately, when on ABC they didn't give out the witnesses' names. They started doing that a lot later on. They were asked them to spell their names. I think that's when the print media got to them because they want to write down their names correctly. But these were interviewed by the TV media, so they didn't ask people's names. So I can't have a name to sort of go back. But what I will try and do is, if I can, on YouTube, see if I can find some of these interviews and then add them to the companion of the Pursuit of Truth playlist, so you can hear for yourself. But I'm sure you can find them, and I suspect it's going to be played out. But the thing is, now you're going to see they cut that bit out. Now that they know he's white, whoever it is said that bit, if they are still showing him, I think it was the old guy, the bad acting one. I think he was the first one I saw, but I'm not 100% sure, because there was the young guy as well, who may be his son-in-law. But anyway, yeah, they're probably going to just play little bits now that won't contradict the story that they're now come up with, which makes sense, I guess. I mean, you wouldn't like that, but that's the thing where people think that, oh, they're manipulating stuff. But I mean, obviously, if someone got something wrong, but then again, maybe they should put that out there, because then that brings to, yeah, I mean, if he got that fundamental fact wrong, that means, what about all the rest of it? Was he really there? Was he really involved? How can he, know the difference between a white man and a Middle Eastern man? That's quite a distinction to have made. And there's other people saying that he had ski masks, some people saying he had black glasses, some people saying he had prescription glasses, some just saying glasses, some saying he was all dressed in black, he was blacked up. That would fit with the Marine Corps part, I guess. I guess we'll have to wait to see the pictures that they're going to release, if they can release those pictures. The problem is, that's another thing as well. They always want to come to our sensitivity about showing things. Like the media don't want to ever show us anything. It's like when Sky News were reporting it, they were showing a live scene from a helicopter, and the newscaster said, oh, I don't think I should be showing that. It was a person lying on the floor. But you could see from the way the person was lying on the floor, they weren't injured or anything. They had one leg crossed over the other, and the hand behind the head, like they were sleeping on there or something. But they're so scared of showing like a dead person, as if we don't all know that people have died there. And I understand for children that would not be, it would be very distressing, but I think for adults, if we want to live in the real world, we need to be exposed to the truth. It's like when people send their children to war, and they see all these Hollywood movies where everyone dies instantly and there's no blood and there's no pain, there's no gore, unless you watch Platoon, which to me opened my eyes to what war really could be like. And I'm sure that's not even half the amount of how war really is, how painful it is, and how evil it is to kill fellow human beings. But yeah, that's the big problem with the media, that it wants to, edit things and censor things. And, like this story is played out on ABC News for 8 hours straight. That's all they've been talking about. Sky News have been flicking in between, because they got bored of these things now, unless it's in Europe, and then even then they don't always stay on them all day. But then they're going to just condense that into like a 5-minute segment, and cut out all the bits that they can't confirm. But I understand why. And then some people say, oh, that's a conspiracy, but it's not. It's just they want to match up with what everyone's saying now. But yeah, like I say, it does call into question the whole of that person's statement. I think if you have to cut out a fundamental thing like that, I don't think you should be showing any of his statement anymore, because that's a big mistake. But then they're going to say, oh, that's because of shock, or it was dark. He was obviously trying to make out it was a Muslim terrorist, because I don't know whether you would be able to. Well, I suppose you could tell if someone looked Middle Eastern or not. I guess you could still be white and Middle Eastern, just about. If you were Saudi, Saudis do look pretty white, I guess. But the name David Ian Long is not a very Islamic sounding name, is it now? Yeah, it doesn't look like they're on CNN. I think it's like the UK version, so they're not showing anything about it. I don't know if BBC News, it's not come up to the hour yet, and then they're waiting for the hour to come on, and then they're going to show it, isn't it? About Sky News, let's see them. Unfortunately, I don't have ABC on the TV. Got Europe News. No. Let's try Sky. I think probably went in about 9 minutes. But I'm sure it's going to be much the same as what I've been telling you. But I guess we'll see what more comes out. It is interesting how long it takes. You know, when it, I mean, like the one on London, the London Bridge one, we got his name very, very quickly, and his picture as well. Well, I guess that's because they filmed him being taken down in the ambulance, wasn't it? But this took a long time. Anyway, I've waffled on enough. If there's anything more, then I'll come back to you. Take care, take it easy. God bless and peace.